$47.12. That is the exact cost of a tank of regular unleaded fuel at a Shell station on the corner of 4th and Main. You watch the digital numbers roll on the pump screen under the flickering fluorescent lights at 10:14 p.m. The transaction clears, leaving you with $184.50 in your checking account, a silent reminder that your current strategy for survival is operating on a razor-thin margin. You sit in your car, listening to the engine idle, waiting for the headlights of oncoming traffic to pass. The digital display on your dashboard glows, showing 114,820 miles on the odometer. The steering wheel is cold under your hands, and you hear the faint rattle of a loose heat shield. You need a way to break this cycle, but the options presented to you are vast, confusing, and filled with hidden traps. The wealth-building landscape is organized as a hierarchy, a tier list that determines who gains freedom and who remains trapped in the gears. To find the path forward, you must analyze each strategy with absolute mathematical clarity. F tier, speculative assets and alternative bets. This is the lowest tier, the one that promises the fastest escape but delivers the highest rate of failure. On November 12, 2025, you deposit $1,000 into a dog-themed digital currency after reading a post on an anonymous message board. You watch the value climb as social media posts drive interest, and by the following Tuesday, your account balance rises to $4,200, making you believe you have found a shortcut. 2 days later, the founders liquidate their holdings in a coordinated sell-off, and your balance drops to $84. The transaction fees alone cost you $12 to execute the final sell order, leaving you with almost nothing. The same mechanical pattern applies to collectibles, art platforms, and sports betting. You are playing a game where the house holds a 98.4% mathematical advantage, yet you treat it as an investment strategy. The first rule, speculation is not investing, it is a fee paid for the illusion of control. The system encourages this behavior because it keeps capital volatile and concentrated. You are chasing outliers while ignoring the baseline. C tier, side hustles and the gig economy. You decide to pivot to something that feels more tangible, signing up for 3 food delivery applications. You drive 14 miles through heavy evening traffic to deliver a $12 dinner order. You receive a payout of $4.50 after the platform deducts its 30% service fee. After subtracting $1.80 for fuel and accounting for the depreciation of your sedan at 67 cents per mile, your actual earnings are below the federal minimum wage of $7.25. The platform takes its share, and you are left to absorb the hidden costs of vehicle wear and tear. The digital contract promises flexibility, but it delivers a highly optimized form of piece rate labor. You are responsible for the maintenance, the insurance, and the taxes, while the platform controls the pricing. There is no relationship here. There is a transaction. You are renting out your vehicle and your body to a corporation that treats you as a temporary variable in an algorithm. The second rule, gig work, is a linear transaction that depreciates your most valuable asset. That asset is your time, which you are selling at a discount to cover immediate expenses. The margin is too small to allow for compounding. B tier represents high-income careers and professional services. You decide that the answer is education and specialization, securing a position as a junior corporate attorney at a mid-sized firm. Your starting salary is $165,000 a year, a number that seems immense compared to your food delivery days. This is the career plateau. You are working 74 hours a week, arriving at the office at 7:30 a.m. and leaving long after dark. Your federal income tax rate is 32%, and state taxes take another 6%, leaving you with a net monthly take-home pay of $9,350. You buy a townhouse for $580,000 with a 30-year fixed mortgage at 6.8%, resulting in a monthly payment of $3,780. You find yourself bound to the firm by a golden handcuff that requires your constant presence. The lifestyle inflation required to maintain your professional status absorbs the rest of your salary. You are earning more, but you are still trading your physical presence for a paycheck. The third rule, salary is a ceiling dressed up as a floor. The moment you stop selling your labor, the cash flow stops instantly. You have built a comfortable cage, but the bars are still there. A tier represents index funds and stock market investing. Something changes, but not dramatically. You open a brokerage account and set up an automatic transfer of $850 on the first day of every month. The transaction executes without your intervention, building capital in the background. You buy a low-cost S&P 500 index fund with an expense ratio of 0.03%. The fund tracks the performance of the largest corporations, yielding an average annual return of 9.4%. This strategy does not require you to time the market. The fees are minimal, and the tax benefits are built into the structure of long-term capital gains, which are taxed at a lower rate of 15% for most brackets. The compounding is slow, almost invisible in the first 7 years. Your capital grows from $10,200 to $84,000, then to $210,000. It takes 28 years of consistent deposits to reach $1,245,000, assuming the historical average remains steady. This timeline requires patience, but the mathematical outcome is highly predictable. The fourth rule, slow wealth requires a primary engine to feed it. Index funds are an excellent vault to preserve and multiply capital, but they cannot create wealth from nothing. You need a high-volume input to make the compounding engine work within your lifetime. S tier is entrepreneurship and real estate leverage. This is where the rules of the game change entirely. You purchase a residential fourplex for $420,000 using an FHA loan with a 3.5% down payment, which requires $14,700 in cash. You live in one unit and rent the other three for $1,250 each, generating $3,750 in monthly rental income. The physical structure of the building is now working for you, converting a necessity of life into a consistent stream of capital. Your mortgage payment, including taxes and insurance, is $3,100, meaning your tenants are paying your housing costs and leaving you with $650 in positive cash flow. This is legal. This is normal. The tax code allows you to deduct depreciation, which is a non-cash expense that offsets your rental income. When you decide to sell the property, you use a Section 1031 exchange to defer the capital gains tax entirely by purchasing a larger commercial property. The system knows one thing about you: you are now a capital allocator, not a laborer. The tax laws are written to encourage this behavior because you are providing housing and taking on debt that expands the money supply. You use the cash flow from your real estate to launch a specialized business. You pay them $28 an hour while billing their services to corporate clients at $95 an hour. Your business generates $42,000 in monthly revenue with a net profit margin of 22%. The rules become flexible. You are no longer trading your own hours, you are buying the hours of others and selling the output. You have created a system that operates independently of your physical presence, meaning the cash flow continues whether you work or not. The fifth rule, true leverage requires assets that work while you are asleep. You have combined the leverage of debt, the leverage of labor, and the leverage of the tax code to escape the linear equation of work and pay. The shift is complete. You look back at the journey and realize the path was never about working harder, but about changing your position relative to the machine. You have transitioned from the person paying the transaction fees to the person collecting them. The financial system now works in your favor, using the same rules that previously worked against you. $47.12. You are back at the Shell station on 4th and Main. Somewhere in this city right now, a younger version of you is standing under the flickering fluorescent lights at 10:14 p.m. checking their phone. They are looking at their account balance, wondering how to move forward, unaware of what the journey costs. They do not understand the toll it takes in years rather than dollars. The machine opens every morning. It takes whoever shows up. The pump digital display resets to 0.